Hello and welcome to the Electric Bike Report. My name is Pete and this is the Aventon Sinch electric fat folding bike in for testing and review. This is a pretty interesting e-bike because it has the compact 20-inch wheels with the 4-inch wide fat tires for all-terrain riding, and it's a fun bike for zipping around town and also exploring some of the back roads. Some of the highlights are the 6061 hydroform aluminum frame with the 48-volt 14-amp-hour lithium battery built into the top tube here, so it's definitely a big highlight. And then you've got the folding capabilities. This is the frame hinge here, so the bike can be folded down for transport or for storage. And then dropping back down here, this is the 500 watt geared rear hub motor with 750 watts of peak power. Then there's the Shimano Acera 7-speed drivetrain, the Tektro mechanical disc brakes, and a lot of adjustability with this bike too, and the RST guide suspension fork. The Sinch retails for $14.99, and that includes free shipping. So this is a video overview, and I'll have the full review for you at electricbikereport.com, and there's a link to that in the notes for this video. That'll include a bunch of detailed pictures, specifications, ride characteristics, range test results, pros, cons, and overall thoughts. So make sure you check that out, and we'll get right into the overview here. Okay, so here's a closer look at the 6061 hydroform aluminum frame. This is a pretty interesting frame here at the top tube area. You can see it has some pretty interesting structure, and within this is the 48-volt 14-amp-hour lithium battery, and this is a great location for the battery pack because it's relatively centered and low on the bike, which is good for the overall handling and balance of the bike. It also protects the battery very well, and just, you know, when you kind of zoom out and look at the bike, it's hard to tell it's an electric bike because they've hidden the battery within the frame here. So nice detailing there. And here at the head tube, here's the Aventon badge on the front. And then there's the internal cable routing here for clean looks and cable protection. And then this is the frame hinge here. There's a quick release lever, and that opens up, and I'll show the folding a little bit later. And then coming back here, this is the seat tube, and there's a quick release for the seat post, so you can quickly vary the height of the seat. And then there's the top tube and seat stay connection, and nice smooth welds, and also just some pretty interesting details on the tubing structure. A lot of surface area connection there, but it also looks pretty cool too. And you can see here at the seat stays, they kind of drop down here and taper down, and then you've got the rear derailleur internal cable routing there. A look at the dropout with the replaceable derailleur hanger, just in case that gets bent. And then coming back here to the cranks, you can see the seat tube here dropping down to the bottom bracket, but also an additional reinforcing tube connecting here to the hinge area. And just behind the cranks, there's a sort of a kickstand here, and this is used for when the bike is folded and sitting on the ground there. It's sort of a kickstand for it. But overall, some nice details on the frame here. You know, integration of the battery, and you know, the folding capabilities, the fat tires, and just, you know, pretty cool and unique looks overall too. So on the left side of the bike is the battery charge port. So you open up this rubber cover and move it to the side. There's the on-off button for the battery, and then this is the charge port, so you can charge the battery when it's in the bike, or it can also be removed and charged off the bike too. So a big highlight for the Sinch are these 4-inch wide yet compact tires. And this is pretty interesting because most compact folding e-bikes, you know, you have to really pay attention to the road because they don't absorb a lot of the bumps and cracks and such as well as, say, larger wheeled bikes. But with the 4-inch wide fat tires on the Sinch here, you get kind of the best of both worlds. You have the agility of the smaller compact wheels, yet with the fat tires, they're a larger diameter, so they have a tendency to roll over obstacles well. And with the large air volume in these tires, especially when they run them at the lower tire pressures, they have a bit of a built-in suspension effect where they can absorb a lot of the terrain, kind of mold over some of the terrain. In addition, you get that large tread patch on the ground, which gives you a lot of traction, but it also gives you a lot of stability too. So you kind of get the agility of the smaller wheels with the stability of the fat tires, and really makes the Sinch a lot of fun to ride. So on the front of the bike is the RST Guide suspension fork that has 45 millimeters of travel. It's almost 2 inches. Has a really nice active feel and helps absorb a lot of the bumps and cracks in the road. And there's a lockout dial here on the top, so you can turn this dial and lock the fork out if you're riding on fairly smooth roads. It provides an efficient pedaling option, and then if you want to open that back up, it's really easy. Just turn that dial and it activates the fork again. And then over here is the preload dial, so you can turn this dial to adjust the spring rate of the fork to your weight and riding style. So here's a look at the drivetrain of the bike. First of all, there's the plastic pedals, and these are actually a folding pedal. I'll show the folding of that later on. Then there's the 170 millimeter cranks with a 52 tooth chainring and double chainring guards to help keep the chain on the chainring and to provide a little bit of pant leg protection. And then that drives back to the 7-speed Shimano cog set back here and the Shimano Acera rear derailleur that shifts through those 7 speeds. And then just behind that is the 500 watt geared rear hub motor that provides up to 750 watts of power and provides assist up to 20 miles per hour with either 5 different levels of pedal assist or the thumb throttle option. And that makes this a Class 2 electric bike. So slowing down the Sinch is handled by the Tektro mechanical disc brakes with 180 millimeter rotors on the front and the back of the bike, and that's a nice large size rotor for slowing down the larger fat tires. The Tektro brakes have a nice solid feel and a nice amount of power, and yeah, just overall do a good job of slowing down the Sinch. And there's a look at the rotor attached to the 500 watt geared rear hub motor. So the Sinch has a fairly upright and comfortable ride position. You can see the flat handlebars here, and there is adjustability to the handlebar height. There's a quick release here, so you can open that up and vary the height. It's very similar to a seat post quick release. And there's about 5 inches of adjustability for the handlebar height, so you can really dial it into your preferred riding position. And it's pretty cool because Aventon recommends a rider height between 5 foot and 6'3". Similarly, here at the seat post, there's a quick release, so you can quickly vary the height of the seat. And taking a look at the seat here, it's got a mid-width profile on the back, fairly narrow at the front for efficient pedaling. So on the left side of the handlebar is the Velo lock-on grips. These have collars on both sides of the grip for a solid attachment to the handlebar. The Tektro mechanical disc brake levers, and there's sensors in each brake lever, so when you engage either brake lever, the assist will stop. And then you've got the thumb throttle here that provides boost up to 20 miles per hour. And this can be used as a boost to the lower pedal assist levels, or it can be used on its own with or without pedaling. So you can have that option. Then there's the control pad here. The up and down arrows generally vary the pedal assist levels. Then there's the on-off button that also cycles through information on the display here. So on the display, you can see you've got your battery level indicator, your current speed, your pedal assist level, and right now this is in the odometer. And then so you can see as I hit the up arrow, the pedal assist levels go up to 5, and then back down to 1, and then 0 is no pedal assist. And then by hitting the lower or the on-off button here, you can cycle through from odometer to trip distance, A and B, and then you've got the voltage of the battery, and then the ride time. So a lot of good information. It's very easy to see this display right in the center of the handlebars. The important information is just very easy to quickly get a glance at when you're riding. And then on the right is the Tektro mechanical disc brake lever for the rear brake, the Shimano 7-speed shifter, and the Velo lock-on grip there. So here's a quick demonstration of the folding capabilities of the Sinch. Make sure you check out the full instructions from Aventon before you do this. So to open up the handlebar mast quick release, there's a little lever here that opens, and there's a little safety mechanism right there that you have to maneuver to open the lever. And then the handlebars fold down just like this. So folding the pedals is pretty easy. You just push in on the platform and then rotate the platform like that. And then opening the frame hinge, there's the lever here, but you have to move this little button forward, and then the lever opens up like that. And then here's the hinge in the completely open position with the front of the bike folded back. You can see that the overall size of the bike is very compact, which is very good for transportation and for storage. It really makes the Sinch a versatile e-bike. So once the frame has been opened up, you can see the battery here, and this is the 48 volt 14 amp hour battery, and you can remove it by unlocking it with one of the supplied keys. There's 2 supplied, so you basically just turn it like that, and then the battery slides out of the frame. And there's a look at the frame tube there and the battery. And then to reinstall, basically the same in reverse, just line it up with the frame there and rotate the key, take it. Just make sure it's fully locked in there, and you should be set to go. So here's the battery removed from the bike with the charger plugged in there, and charge time is about 4 hours, and the battery can be charged when it's in the bike or removed from the bike like this. Alright, so that's the video overview of the Aventon Sinch. Make sure you check out electricbikereport.com for the full review, and that includes a bunch of detailed pictures, specifications, ride characteristics, range test results, pros, cons, and overall thoughts. And there's a link to that in the notes for this video.